We had a Prime Minister who preached kindness and compassion, and his real mission was to divide our people. But you know, the more she tried to divide us, the more we united. And we went to court. I'm a lawyer. We went to court way back in May 2021 and we challenged their vaccine, the legality of the rollout. And we won. And when I was on social media announcing that we won, the message came through that the government had just announced that they were doing an emergency law change. And within 24 hours, they did what they said was a technical change of our Medicines Act to allow the rollout of a vaccine that they themselves had admitted they didn't know was safe or effective, and they didn't know if the benefits exceeded the risks. They changed the law to allow it to be rolled out to everyone in New Zealand instead of just a limited number of patients. So they took out the words of limited number of patients. So right from the start, they cheated, they lied, they misrepresented to the people that they were supposed to be acting on behalf of. But by forcing them to do that, we showed New Zealand what we were up against. So we won, we lost, but actually we won big time because we proved just how devious and lying they were. To keep going to court. You do a huge amount of work if they're just going to change the law. What do? So what you do is unite with your community and you get the people speaking. And we were inspired by our friends from Canada. We copied their convoy and we went and camped on the New Zealand Parliament front lawn for 23 days. And it was at the time when they told us that if you weren't vaccinated, you had no rights. That you weren't allowed to go to a cafe, you weren't allowed to go to a haircut, you weren't allowed to go to work if you were a healthcare professional or a teacher or a whole lot of other jobs. And yet when they told us that, we had the biggest party in New Zealand on their front lawn. That's people power. And at the end, the only way they could get rid of us was by bringing in our own police force with rubber bullets and tear gas. They brought them in at 6 o'clock in the morning when people were still asleep, getting up, wanting to go to the toilet, whatever. They came in their riot shields, their helmets, all of their statins and everything else, and they smashed down tents, they smashed down people, they smashed down my best friend and fractured his hip. He was in hospital for 6.5 days getting an emergency hip operation. They injured so many people, they lied about it, and you know, that is what they did. They proved to everybody just how untrustworthy, how fraudulent they were. So we're supposed to be a peaceful, kind country. If it can happen to us, it can happen to anybody. But what we've learned is we've got the whole world in our team. And all of the amazing people of the world, we've learned to step up, we've learned to be brave, to speak with courage, to do what we need to do. And we've learned that the more we step forward, the more they step back. And that is what we have to do. But